Ciao guys. So as promised, I'm going to be showing you guys the breakdown of how I was able to edit the video, my last video. And yeah, let's just dive in. So yeah, but before we start, I would like to point out that I normally edit my videos with Davinci Resolve, and I'm going to be dropping the link to how you can download and install it on your computer. Okay, so like I said, I normally edit my videos with DaVinci Resolve. To download DaVinci Resolve, you just need to go to this website. I'm going to drop the link in the video description, blackmagicdesign.com/product/slash DaVinci Resolve. And I'd like to point out that there are actually two versions. There's the free download now version, which is the one I normally use because, of course, I'm not in the professional space to use DaVinci like all the time. And then there's the second version, which is the paid version. Now you actually buy it, and it's mostly used by Netflix standard video editors, and because it contains more tools to use and it's quite sophisticated. But for simple editing processes or editing work like the ones that we do for content, I feel like the free version is enough to help us to solve our problems. Okay, so this I divided the project into two, and the reason is because I didn't want to lose the progress. So the first one, which is this one named self-discipline, is what contains like the main project that I worked on. So after I worked on that, I exported it. I exported it as a full video, and then I just exported to see if I needed to add some adjustment to it. And after exporting rather, I yeah, I needed to add some effects to it. Then I created a copy of that same project and then did all the adjustment I had to do or had in mind to do on it. And also it also helps me to if I make a grave mistake, I'm able to go back to the first project and just continue. It just helps me. Just my own way of doing stuff. So yeah, so two projects but the same video. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is this one titled Self Discipline. So this is the interface of the editing software, but most of the time I normally share the screen so that I have enough space to work with. And yeah, like just like every other typical software editing software, sorry, you get to have like tools that you use and the ones that is not applicable to the kind of work that you do. So yeah, but looking at DaVinci Resolve, it's divided into like I think six major parts, right? Sorry, I'm not seeing the screen very well. Six major parts. So this is the part the way you can preview all the images or the videos they are bringing into the workspace. And then this is the timeline where you do all the cutting, adjusting the volumes and all of that. And then there's this part where you also do editing. That's the extra editing. And there's the fusion page where you do all the magic stuff, like the way I was able to split myself and create another self of myself. I don't know if that's correct. Anyways, and then we have the color manager, which is where you adjust the colorations, give it the kind of theme that you want, and of course fairy light, which is like the sound part. This is where you adjust like the bars, the volumes, and all of that. And then the export file. This is where you get to export it in any format you want, MP4, a movie, or anyone you like. And yeah, basically that's just like how the whole software works. So depending on what you want to do on your video at that moment, sometimes I just come to DaVinci Resolve to cut the video, like export them, check them one after the other, and when I see like okay, I think they're in proper shape, I merge them and then bring them back to DaVinci Resolve. But for the sake of repeating DaVinci Resolve, I just say DR. So I bring them back to DR and then I do all the adjustment. Sorry guys, today is not those days I feel like, but I just have to keep my promise. I have to keep my promise. And I would like to point out something. These red patches you're seeing are like missing media. So when I finished the project, I was like trying to compile all the files that I used to create the video and edit the video into a folder. So I was moving them from like the downloads. So they were missing patches. So normally like this red patch now should be in like my download, but I already moved it to like the folder that contains the original video. So it's missing. But that's not going to disturb us from what we are going to do today. So yeah, these are all the media files that I used to edit the video. So I there's a part of the video that actually did not end up being in the final production, and that's because I felt like it wasn't applicable at that moment. So I shot, I think, 4 scenes. The first scene that I shot was this one. Let me see. Yeah, so this one that has the paper part. So I shot the video. I just panned my camera across like a workspace, and then after panning the camera across the workspace, I zoomed it into the empty paper, and that was the shot. So that was the first shot, and then the second shot was this that I shot in my room, and it was just me. Oh my god, it was just me, you know, setting up the whole, just like normal typical movie where you set up, you have a set and then you have costumes and all of that. And I just feel like, okay, I needed to create something that would make me look as if I was busy and all of that, or I was reading. Trust me, guys, I don't read books. I read books, but I don't read that much or that often. I'm not voracious when it comes to reading. Take my time to read books, let's put it that way. Some people would disagree, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just created that scene. I created that scene of me. Hold on. So I created that scene of me just lying down, reading my book. But in the final video, you notice that I zoomed into it because I needed people to like focus on my face, and then from the face pops out the whole machine learning equations and algorithms. So this was the second take. And then the most difficult part, which is this part where I was talking, I had a lot of retakes here. I retook it like numerous times because one, I was forgetting my lines. I was forgetting my lines, and two, a lot of people. It was an open space, so people were passing behind. And honestly, I'm not really the outdoor guy, so I found it really uncomfortable shooting when people were watching me and all that. And I had like some activities and movement behind me, and I didn't really want it to be that way because I was going to split myself, and I didn't want like any disturbance. So yeah, the third take was this, and I recorded a lot of it. A lot of it. This was like the third take. This is also another third take, and then the fourth take, I guess. So this time around, I moved from where I was sitting, and then I sat on the. I was still sitting on the chair, on the bench. Okay, I sat on the bench properly, and this time around, I was sitting inappropriately. Okay, so the second part where I was sitting on top of the bench. Yeah, so I took that one also. And something interesting I love about this scene was the fact that the page, the sunlight was reflecting on the page, which gave my face this white, soft touch, and I really love it. It just gives that pop. You understand? So yeah, and then I think that was it. This part did not make it to the final part of the video, so let's scrap that. So aside from, yeah, and another important part was this, and this was shot in a very creative way. I had my tripod strapped to my chest. My phone camera was facing behind of me, and then I was just walking like I was walking to the scene actually from my room to the scene where I shot the outdoor shot. So I just like freestyle, looking around and looking as if I was lost and trying to find my way. So yeah, that was how I shot this scene. I really love this part because it's just showing me walking from my apartment to the staircase, you know, and walking, just going downstairs. And I really like the fact that I was looking lost. So yeah, I'm still gonna use this kind of concepts in another video, I guess, because I just like it. I like the fact that, though, yeah, I mean, it didn't come out the way I really wanted it. I really wanted it to look as though I wasn't holding anything, like my hands are showing and all that. But yeah, it's not a bad job, right? What do you guys think? So yeah, I shot this part, and yeah, that was it. Also, sorry, also forgot to mention this part where we had the algorithm, and it's my whiteboard where I do some bunch of stuffs. So yeah, I wrote machine learning, and then I zoomed into the video and then zoomed out of the video. And I also did the same thing for self-discipline as well. I zoomed into, I zoomed out, and then I also zoomed in. So yeah, that was it. Now we are going to the important aspect, which is like the sound aspect. Most of the time, I download my sounds from freesounds.com. I'm going to send the link. It's going to be in the description. I got all the sounds from it. Then yeah, so Davinci Resolve or DR, all the videos, and then all the sounds that I was going to use in the video, right? So let's go into the interesting parts, which is how I cut the video, overlay the sounds, and yeah. So let's dive into the video. So remember all the scenes that I shot? I brought all of them into the workspace. This represents the channels of the videos. So I have V1, V2, V3, V4. These are the channels of the videos, and A represents audio, audio 2. So you can actually overlay audios and overlay videos as well. So the first video that I brought into the timeline was this video that showed that was saying we should rotate the screen. So I'm going to extend it. So this video that was saying please rotate your screen. That was the first video. So if I play it, you see, and when it ends, there was this transition to the paper scene. You get, so that was it. And then while that was happening, I had Asha playing in, and for Asha, I actually did a fade in, so it doesn't just start like that. So there was a fade into the sound that just gradually comes in, and then towards the end, it's actually faded out as well. Then, if you listen to the audio very well, you're going to hear a part that sounded as if I was starting the way these hold cameras, make sound when you start them. It was actually the sound. So if I mute like these tracks, we'll be able to we'll be able to hear the camera making. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me increase the volume. Yeah, so you're gonna hear the rolling of the camera, and you can also see that I faded it out. See, this sign means to fade out. So from this point to the end, the music is going to reduce the volume and just go out like that. So yeah, yeah. So that effect, and Asha was also playing. So both sound gave this. Yeah. So let me reduce the volume. And of course Asha's volume was higher, so we can both can hear. And my choice of this music was because it was part of the stuff that gave me inspiration when I was, brainstorming for ideas for my next content. So big shout out to Asha for very beautiful song. And another sound that I overlaid at that point was the click sound that brought in the paper scene. From this rotate your screen to the paper scene, there was this transition. You can see that slow, blurry transition. So I didn't just want it to come in without any sound. So this sound below, this one here, was, let me mute this track, was the one that gave it the click effect. And if I increase the volume, you're going to hear it as it sounds like when you capture a picture with traditional camera. See, I like that sound. I use it a lot in my videos. If you pay attention to my videos, especially when I'm trying to transition, move. So yeah, for the first scene, that was it. So let me put us on back, reduce the volume, and yeah, so started cool. So yeah, that was it. That was it. And my vocals, my vocals was actually a voiceover, and then I tuned it. I enhanced the voiceover to remove background noise. And if I play just the voiceover without this extra sound, you guys are going to hear just the voiceover. I think it started from here. Sometimes that's creative. You just get stuck. No idea, no spark. So like all these tiny black lines are like the pauses in my vocals. So yeah, that was it. Nothing really difficult. And you might be wondering why we have a lot of channels for each of the audio. That's because if you are editing, maybe different sound components of the videos should have different attributes. But if you put all of them in one channel, they are going to it's going to be very chaotic. Just like in church where you have different channels for different microphones, and the lead singer has a little bit higher volume than the backup singer. Imagine the backup singer having higher volumes than the lead singer because they have a lot of voice. I mean, it's going to be chaotic. So yeah, it's just the same thing. It's applicable to like when you have audio channels and you're working with different sounds and you want them to sound differently, different volumes. And because if you choose one channel for all your sounds, it means that anything you do on that channel is going to be applicable to all that sound. So yeah, that's a quick one. Then, of course, I think yeah. Then that this part, there was a film blow. A film blow. I normally use it in my transition as well. So I think a film blow looks like this. You can see it's just like a bouquet or a streak of light. I normally use it to just transition. So it transitioned why am I saying PayPal? The paper scene to the me scene where I was, staring into the book. And then if you notice, there was also a sound here as well. Let me play the sound. Let me mute this. There's also a sound here. Yeah. So. But I heard something once. I'll mute you, okay. So let me increase the volume. You can hear properly. Yeah, so same camera sound. It seems like that helps me to transition. So then the film blur, the transition, the paper part. You guys are going to notice that the paper part is zooming in gradually, but in the original video it wasn't like that, right? Yeah, so there are a bunch of effects like in Davinci Resolve that you can use to do that. So I mean, just come and use Davinci Resolve and explore Davinci Resolve. So yeah, so from that point, there was this riser sound. I normally use it a lot to just it's for suspense, like it gives us suspense mood. Let me increase the volume. So it's always sound like most video editors use it. Most video editors are guilty of the sound. So you hear something like so it's like raising like the expectation of the listeners. So these are like the elements of like the sounds because a good video will have very good sound effects as well. That's one thing to point out. So why am I so happy explaining this thing? Well, anyways. Yeah, so then from the main part to the equation part, this part was I don't know. I just had it in my head. Like I wanted something that was just numbers streaming to equation streaming, just to give that machine learning statistics kind of vibe. And I was happy that I was able to achieve it. And then on that part, I lost this part of the reinforcement learning, but it was actually an external video that was brought into the scene to just, show reinforcement learning. And why it was showing or why it was writing on the screen, I added the effect, the pencil effect. So the pencil effect actually gives this scribbling sound, as if somebody's scribbling on a sheet of paper. And if you hear it, it's going to sound. Wait, I mute it. Mute this, mute this, mute this, mute this. It's on this track. So yeah, it has this writing sound. So somebody signing a signature with a pencil on a paper. So that introduced that reinforcement learning part. And then if you notice or if you observe, you realize that the videos were overlaid. So the machine learning part was overlaid on the equation part. So if I disable the video track of that equation, this is the original equations just flowing. It's an external video as well. Wait, we got that because that reinforcement learning guy was not there. So you see, it was just flowing. And then this is my own original video that I shot. If I disable this track, this is my original video that I shot. You see, there was a transition from that scene to this scene. So what I did was I placed the equation video, the math equation video on the machine learning video. And I think I reduced the opacity. No, I didn't actually reduce the opacity. I just changed the composite mode to hard. So there are different ways you want it to blend into the video. So if you want it to blend as black and white, you use this. So there are different ways that it blends into the video. So I think I chose hard. Obviously chose hard, not I think. So yeah, and then it just gives that effect, And I did the same thing for self-discipline as well, and that ended that scene. And then this part I think is where this part is part this is the part where, hold on, okay, I think, okay, yeah, this is the part where I was walking scene. This was actually another effect from Davinci Resolve as well. It's I used the Gaussian blur. Yeah, I used the Gaussian blur, and I just manipulated the red, blue, green channels. That's as a result of the idea of computer vision that I had, because all these things are those related, kind of. So yeah, that also helped me with getting this effect. It's giving this highness, psychedelic kind of effect that just created that lost mode. And yeah, that was the way I achieved that. Then if you notice as well, I also use the rise out sound here as well to, yeah. So yeah, that was it. Now there was this very beautiful sound I love that made the transition from this scene to the outdoor scene really nice. And it's this sound, the notification sound, just sounded, I think it's, let me play it here. The notification sound was just, I really love that sound. Just give me that this sound. Yeah, give that very nice sound like that. So then the transition from this as well, the transition was smooth cut. And because there were two videos that I overlaid, remember I overlaid the part of me where I was sitting and the part of sitting below and the part of me where I was sitting above. So that one needed manipulation because there were two scenes. So it's like two videos, two similar videos placed on top themselves at different timelines. You get, so I shot the one where I was sitting below first, then I shot the one that was sitting above second, but in the same video. So the scene or the camera is not changing. You get, it's stable. So it's capturing the same frame, but different positions. So what I did was just to erase half of the video, like erasing half of the video. But I tried to use that, but it did not work. So I think what I did was I took the video to, wait, I think I took the video to Fusion page. I think took the video to. I hope it works. Exactly, exactly. So I took the video to Fusion page, where you can see how I cut. Sorry, you can see how I cut myself out, so that because of shadow effects, the lighting and all of that. So I did that with the polygon tool, which is a tool where you can use this tool or this tool where you can use to like trace image. And you're going to be wondering, why did I not cut very close to this my skin or to my body? It was because all I needed to do was just this shadow part. That was all I needed, and I was too lazy to have a perfect cut. But at the end of the day, I was glad that it came out really nice. You get really nice, and I like it. I really like it. I enjoyed it when I was working. Like when I was working on the editing, I was having fun because I was so happy, doing all the old cutting and trimming and the magical stuffs. So yeah, that was the way I achieved the split person effect. Very easy. Two videos, place it on top of themselves, different timelines, and if you can cut, just cut. And yeah, I should also point that what I did could be achieved with or can be achieved with AI, but I don't know, for some reason I don't like putting myself in any AI tool. Some reason, personal reason, maybe because I'm working in that space. But yeah, I don't know. And I just wanted to be as organical as possible. I just wanted to use my creativity, take the software and use it. Again, so yeah, that was it. My stubbornness would not let me. Not like I'm not open to new things, but what's the point? I mean, what's the point? So yeah, that was the way I achieved that video splitting, and yeah, that was it. That's pretty much everything. And then don't forget, of course, my vocals and my lines were there, and you know, I have to hack the two guys differently. And there was this cut sound as well here as well. Oh, I already muted. There's this cut sound as well. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was the old video. Every other thing was just all the elements I showed you before. The film born and the camera sound as well. Any part where you see my transition from with a film born, just know that that part. Let me drop it with secret. Just know that that part was actually probably a retake, or that I wanted my line to sound really good. And because I retake my video over and over, if you guys notice, you see that this is like the longest part. The outdoor part was like the longest because I shot it like I had to retake it a lot of times. And yeah, the last part was just my usual logo. I already have that built before with After Effects, and I just brought it in, and the sound, the that that sound that normally come, yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, then I should also mention to you guys that my brown sound is like my brand outdoor. What am I saying? My brand outro um stuff is, thanks for listening, ciao guys. But this particular video, I forgot. Honestly, I forgot. But how I came about bringing it back into my timeline is something I'm going to leave you guys for as an assignment. So yeah, back to the video. So that's like the breakdown. That's like the breakdown. And yeah, every other thing were just elements that I added, and I've shown you guys. The sound, the video, and yeah, that's the way I shot it. Simple. Shot all my scenes, and when I was comfortable with all the scenes that I shot and they were enough, I did my voiceover for the first half of the video, and yeah, that was pretty much everything. Added all the sound effects, and then created the subtitle. Subtitle file was created in the copy of the original file. Maybe I'll just show you guys. So after I made this, I exported it as, I first duplicated the video. So this is the copy. We'll open it now. So after duplicating, I brought it here to this timeline, And here you see I already had all the effects. The full video was here, the full clip was here, and then I did all the hedges the way I wanted it. And this part, this ST part, is the subtitle part. So you see, you guys are going to be wondering that do I sit down writing all my words one after the other? But no, I don't. Something writes it for me, and then I bring it as a file into my video. But if you want to know about that, you can drop your comment. But the reason why I do that by myself is, just creativity. Just be creative with your stuff. Just do something that you love. You know. And then another part that I want you guys to also know is that let me drop this secret for you guys. Do you know that the last part of the video where I was sitting out, I mean the outdoor video, I'm sure you're going to be listening to this. You're going to be listening to this. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I sound like that, but anyways, there's this nature sound, birds, and all of that sounding. It was actually this sound. It wasn't. It was actually an external sound. Sounds this way. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So it was actually an external sound of nature, of water flowing, birds chirping. You know, yeah, it wasn't. And I used it. I overlaid it in like this part of the video to just give that effect of nature. It wasn't like it wasn't natural. It was artificial sound. Sorry, guys. Sorry to break your heart. So yeah, that was it. And then of course I brought in the subtitle as a file, and I went into like the subtitles to make corrections where I would did, yeah, pretty much everything. Now for the coloration, which is like the important part. If you guys really want me to delve into like teaching you color grading, that's what we call it in video editing. I mean, I can do that to you guys. There's a trick for it. Um, you don't have to break a leg. It's not even correct. God, that big. You guys don't have to stress yourself. I'm going to help you guys. If you really want to, you're interested in like video editing masterclass. Let me put it that way. You can just drop me a DM on Instagram. Trust me, I'm going to respond, and I'm going to create time that we can work together with. And yeah, just drop me a DM, and we can start from there. So the color grading aspects and all of the after final effects were done in this timeline, which is the copy of the original editing. And yeah, that's the way I shot the video. And I'm going to add all the links of where I got the sound from, like this nature sound, like the riser sound, where I got it from. I'm going to drop you guys the link of where you can download Davinci Resolve. And yeah, that's it. As promised, I'm keeping my promise, and this happens to be like my first my first official YouTube tutorial video. I have some videos on YouTube, but YouTube is not really like the space I normally use. But I have some, like, this is like going to be my first official tutorial videos, and I'm really glad that I'm doing it for you people. It's not the best because I don't know, you get, but I mean, maybe we can start from here. Who knows? So thank you guys for listening, and I really appreciate the support so far and all the kind words and the comments, the likes, the sharing that I got from the video was so overwhelming and was so warm, and I really appreciate that you guys are supporting me day to day. And yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Ciao, guys.